So you've made your model, but you do want it to speak, don't you? There's this thing in Blender called Shapekeys, which is also known as Visemes or Blendshapes, and we use them to allow programs to animate our models. I've got about 45 minutes to explain this to you as best as I can before I have to leave, so good luck following along. Alright, how am I supposed to explain this? You follow me as we go along. Let's start off with Blink. That's a nice one to start off with. We need to make sure everything is in order first. If you want to edit your model in any way, now's the time to do it. So we have the head and nothing here is attached, so let's make sure everything's in order. The pupils, we can leave for now, but we probably need to join them. So it's got a mirror modifier on, so do these, so does the mouth. Right, so I'm going to start applying the mirrors to this. For the mouth stuff, actually, yeah, make sure clipping's on before you apply it. Just click this arrow down here, hit apply. The pupils, the arrow and apply, and these ones, apply. Gonna merge these together, so click, control click all the way to the top, control J, make sure your mouse is over the head, control J, and it will join together. Okay, we also have these eyelashes, so let's see what's on here. We'll just apply these, see the head, and the head is fine. So we'll get the mouth stuff, the eyelashes, so control click the eyelashes, and then finally control and click on the head, then control J. Make sure your mouse is over here. So now when we hide the head, everything goes with it. Great! I'm going to actually rename this to body, bodice, I mean, ICE, bodice. I'm gonna name the head to body, because we're gonna join everything to the head at the end. Just need to double click, body. This is gonna be the main thing we'll be working with from now on. Right, so we have the head. We need to make sure there are no modifiers here. If you have a subdivision, I don't know, you probably did something wrong. You should have applied that a long time ago. It should just be the armature and nothing else, because you cannot apply modifiers in Blender when you add shape keys. It gets very difficult. Let's just start with the basis, and then we add another one, key one. But this will be blink. I like to start this in this fashion, so we'll go to, actually, let's hide these, because this is going to just get in the way. Right, edit mode, we're going to select this, and then control I, select the inverse, and H to hide. Now we have an empty face, which is great. We want to close these, so I like just selecting this. Now, make sure your mirror is on up here, enable mesh symmetry in the x-axis, and make sure this is not on. We could just S and Z and scale it down just like that. Be a very easy way to do the blink, or you could manually bring parts up and down. Since I don't mind how this closes at all, I think I'm gonna just use this method, so SZ. If you don't have this edge, then just select with the edge select and just click one instead of both. But because I have this edge, I'm gonna do both. Just gonna hit one, SZ0, and then hit the enter key. It should be on both sides, and we need to fix it in the Y direction too. So I quite like this downward curve here, so I'm going to base my shape on this a bit more. I'm going to select these edges. We're just going to go back and forth in the Y direction. I also like to drag this edge down, just with double tap G, bring it in closer. And it will stretch anything you have on the face, so don't do it too much. If it makes it better, then you can also just hit show overlays so you can see what you're doing a bit better. So you're going to uncheck some of these. It should also still be mirrored on this side. So it's not moving on both sides, I'm doing something wrong. You can also round this edge out. You could turn off symmetry if it makes it better. Now, this is a bit too flat for me, so I'm again going to turn on X-ray. I'm going to select these using the lasso. I'm also going to turn on this, and even better so I don't mess up this thing inside here, select this edge and just hide it. So now we have this ball that we can hide. Could also just do face select. Because we have the seams, you can just do face select and hide it that way. Okay, now let's reselect those points. About here. And the hair is still there, it's just hidden. Make sure you have this on. G, Z. Make sure you're... So now it can be molded down. See how quick and easy and painless that was? You can also just do this side. You just need to be careful when you're only selecting one spot in the front. Right, so we Alt-H to unhide, and now we have the eyelashes looking like this. We do want to bring this forward, so just G and Y. These can stay there for a little while. The pupils are sticking out a bit, which we don't want. So let's make sure this is on connected only. We'll grab this edge, and this edge. Bring it forward along with this edge. See if we can stop those parts from sticking out. This should be fine. If you want to be extra sure that it's fine, we'll go into this mode. We'll put the value up to 1. Then we'll go to pose mode. Just do, pose mode right here. We want to make sure that this doesn't cause anything to stick out of the eye, and it's fine. And this here, this little bone here too. And nothing's sticking out. Great! So everything is contained within the head, which is what we want. Go back to object mode. We can hide the archer again. We still need to edit this. Bring this forward again. And let's just hide the pupils now, because they're kind of getting in the way. What we want to do with this eyelash, we want to flatten it in a way that it follows the shape of the eye. The easiest way I found to do this is to first work on this little tail and bring it up just using proportional editing. Just bring it up, use it in the Z axis. You do want it to follow this purple line as much as possible, because the less it follows it, the less nicely it looks when it's closed. And this as well. This one we can be a bit more adventurous with it, so you can rotate it if you need to. And these inner lines can tweak too. These should really be going up as well. It should also still be symmetrized. Just make sure it's not sticking out in a weird way. Yep, this goes too far inward, so we'll bring this outward with G and Y. Probably bring this inward a bit with Y, about there. Okay, so let's see how that looks in object mode. You just really want to look at it from a slight angle and slowly bring the value from 0 to 1. You can see that by moving this to stay on the line, it stays on the line when it opens and closes. It doesn't look oddly like it moves naturally, to put it simply. Alright, let's do the top lash. We do want to keep this shape intact, the rest can go. Let's bring this down. This can start overlapping a bit. If you want to look at the shape, this is floating a lot, so this is going to have to go backwards. But everything else isn't too half bad. So make sure to stick it on the face. Let's go back to show overlays. We just want to work on bringing this forward and backwards in the Y direction. Make sure your portrait editing isn't messing up the bottom line. I'm gonna make sure this is not too much outwards either. GY Vrchat. Alright, so that's the blink emote done. See how it looks when it moves. Not bad at all. Alright, so you've got the blink emote. Let's make 2 more. This one will be blink _L. And here, blink _R. We'll go to edit mode and we'll just go here and we'll use our lasso select. Remember, just click, hold, make sure it's on lasso. We'll select this side of the face. Control V, and then we click blend from shape. We want to blend from the blink shape. We want it to be at 1, and this doesn't matter so much because there's nothing going on here. That's 1. Except we did it on the wrong side. So let's do this again. Okay. So when the character is looking outwards, you'll know that this is the left side and this is the right side. It's from the character's perspective. This is blink L. This would be blink R. So let's just rename this. Go to object mode. Blink R is actually blink L. So let's rename this. Let's just put a J here for now. Rename this to blink L. And then we'll rename this to blink R. We'll flip these around by using this arrow down here, move shape key. And now we have blink L on the left side. Well, the right side, but her left side. Go to edit mode and we'll do this on this side. Select this side of the face. Control V, blend from shape, and it's already on blink, which is great. Now what I encourage people to do before was to flip them left and right, which is what you can do if you really want to. So if we click on blink L and put it to 1, and then new shape from mix, and then we put this back down to 0. If we put this to 1, you'll see that it does the same thing, basically, this new shape. So let's just put this to 1 again, right? Make sure it's all the way up. Let's go down and we'll click mirror shape key. Now, usually this works fine. If we go to edit mode, usually it works fine. But sometimes if you get unlucky, it won't work. But this one worked out just fine. So you can do that if you want, but this way is a lot faster and a bit more reliable. It's actually been 40 minutes already, so I do need to go. I'll be back with the rest of the shape keys soon. Hello, I am back from my trip. And I've decided that I want the blink to not be so high up, so I'm going to change it. Let me put the front ref there. We'll go to edit mode. Going to reselect this side of the face. Try not to go over the center line. Control V, blend from shape. Blink. Let's take off the add because there was already something there. And we'll do this to the R side. Control V, blend from shape, blink, and yeah, that's fine. Alrighty, let me turn on screencast actually. Now we have the blink here. Here's another thing I like doing. The half blink, or at least slightly half blink. Just put this arrow down, new shape from mix, just call it half blink. This is what I use when I'm having the character look down. So if this goes to 1, and it goes that far. And let's see the front ref for a moment. There's a happy as well, so let's just do that. We'll do this blink. Then we'll do this arrow down here, Shapekey specials, new shape from mix. And we'll name this Happy Blink. Let's put this one to 0. Put this to 1. Go to edit mode. Make sure your mirror's still on. I'm going to select this. And hopefully this is the right one. I think I'm going to hide some of these. So this, going to hide this to, this will be a lot easier to work with. Select these and we'll turn off connected only, for it will move a lot smoother. And it shouldn't affect this side. Nothing here should be warping. As long as you do it on the right side, it should be fine. Now of course you could do an FLR for these two, but as of right now it's not too much of a fuss. You can always add more shape keys another time. Let's do the famous A, O, and Ch shape keys. I have a certain style of animating the face that I like to do, and I'll show you an example of that. You can take note of these. So this would be my A shape key, this would be my O, and this would be my Ch. So there's 100 billion different ways to make a Ch sound, but I like having these shapes. So I actually reference this for all my models because I just like the way it looks. So I'm going to do that here. So I'll click on her and we'll do the add. We'll just name this A. Or A. And sure, we'll put that to 1 as well. Go to edit mode. And we want to make sure connected only is on. Let's bring this closer. Picture display as front. Edit mode. Oh, you can see this. The corners are slightly lower. So we'll keep those down. Just grab this G and Z, bring it up a bit. And this one too, G and Z. And bring this down. G and Z. Just be careful when you're squishing these areas because the deform might not be so nice. Smooth it out. As you can see, the mouth does have this outline area. It's basically just Control R, doing some loops around, and then selecting the line and then moving it in the UV editing, for example, grabbing that, putting it somewhere else, scaling it down, and then it will be a different color if I can show it properly. It will be a different color, but I don't want that. So let's not do that. And you must definitely look at the side view. You should also note that if you do want to animate the chin goes down the most on A. So just bring this down and back, like that. It goes down the least on Ch. You also want to take note of where the teeth are in the mouth. Now you can also go to sculpting mode to smooth things out a bit more. You just need to be careful. Make sure your strength is very low. Make sure you're on the right shape key too. And very gently smooth the edges. Very gently. Especially if they're not smooth. We've got the A done. See the chin go down the most on the A? We can just bring it up maybe about here. And then this arrow, new shape from Nyx, call that O, OH. Put A to 0. You can see this at full. Edit mode. See what we can do about O. Oh, the corners are even more down. This is a bit straighter, and the top goes up in a much more steeper arch. Of course, your O does not have to look exactly like mine. Everyone can have a different style of how they animate the mouth. You'll be able to hear it if it looks right. You'll be able to hear her saying "oh" in your head. Object mode, we have A and O with the chin moving even less, and finally Cha. Just name this Cha. Put that to 1. It shouldn't have anything. Just press Add Shapekey. We'll have this on again, and the Cha is more of a happier shape than these two. So go to edit mode, make sure connected only is on, and start pulling the mouth up. O and Cha. Now we only need to make these because we have Cat's Blender plugin, and if you don't have that, shame on you. It's free, you know. So let's go to Cat's Blender plugin and let's go to Visemes. We want to check this to body because we changed the head's name to body, remember? And we want to put these shape keys in here. We have A, which is here, we have O, and we have Cha. Shape key mix intensity, leave it at 1, and then hit create Visemes. Before I do that, I'm going to press save, and you should too. And now we create Visemes. It's going to take a little moment, and you'll have all of these now. So if we go to edit mode, and should turn off show overlays, you can see here we have A, we have Cha, Da, E, F, I, K, N, O, U, P, R. Sil, Sir, and Th. Instead of having to make all of those individually, Cats does it for you. Now, if you're still extremely stubborn about downloading Cat's Blender plugin, or you are using a version of Blender that isn't compatible, which I refuse to take responsibility for. This is a 3.31 tutorial, and cats is fully compatible with 2.93. So 3.31 is pushing it, but it works for what I want it to use it for. Okay, so even though cats is great, I still like changing a few things about this. So for example, I like to emphasize the bit a bit more. If you say your tongue probably goes between your teeth. So I like doing that with the models. So I just bring this up with G and Z and bring it forward. And you know what, because you can see that, I'm going to rotate the tongue on the x-axis so it points upwards a bit more. Can even bring these forwards a little bit. And I also like changing the R, because when you say R, the corners kind of sharpen a bit on your mouth, so I like adding that. Of course, you don't have to clean it up, you could leave it as is if you like it. But I especially like the R shape keys, as my Twitch chat will know. Why wouldn't you want to make this cute shape with the mouth? R, and the rest is fine. I mean, technically with the tongue goes further up, but is anyone really going to look this close just to see this? Just to see this? Yes, I'm going to put it in anyway. GZ, and is technically a bit more like this. But this is just the most basic of basic shape keys. I mean, we already have a happy blink here. Why not turn it into a whole emote? So now we can really take advantage of these things that we have. So let's do that. Just bring these over here and shrink them too. Why not? Try to make these emotes that we have on the side. Of course, if you don't care about extra emotes, then skip to a different part of the video. Alright, so let's do the happy, this one down here. Let's make sure the head is selected. Go to here, object data properties. Let's take note of this shape key. So we'll do this arrow, new shape from mix, and we'll do this happy mouth open. Put that to 1 and put this down to 0. Let's click on this, go to edit mode. Let's turn this mouth into a better smile. Mainly just grabbing this corner, bringing it up with G and Z. Looks fine from the sides too. Now if we mix this with the happy blink, we get this face. Honestly, this could even go bigger. Alright, let's try another one. Let's do the smug. So we need this half blink. New shape from Nyx. We're going to name this Smug Eyes. Going to go here to half blink, turn that off, go down to Smug Eyes, put that to 1. And you can see here the bottom is round and the top is more or less straight across. So let's do that. I again want to hide this pupil so it doesn't get warped. So just selecting with L and H to hide. Just be careful you don't select the head. H to hide. There shouldn't be anything else on here. I do want to hide this though. I don't want this to get warped. And we want to change connected only and uncheck that. So now we can start bringing this up with G and Z. Bringing this up too. With G and Z. And trying to flatten this top part of the eye. You bring this up to the bottom. Can Alt H to unhide. Now we have this eye shape. We want to bring the mouth up and across. Let's turn that off. Let's press the plus button here and we'll name that Smug Mouth. Let's put that to 1. And let's put the smug eyes to 1 too. And you know what, let's make another shape key. So let's just press plus here and name this Smug Brows. Let's turn that to 1. So the smug eyes, smug mouth. Hit L on that and L on this. But make sure you're on the smug brow shape key. Okay. We can rotate this. Oh, let's turn this off. Let's put connected on. No, let's just turn it off. Bring that at an angle and down, she said. I also want to bring this part of the eye to curve like this. So we can either bring this up or bring this part down. Let's turn this on, connected only. G is that. Let's rotate with R. Now curve down a little bit. G is that. Just go to object mode. And that's not down enough. Let's hit L and L, GZ, object mode. And the eyebrows aren't sticking out of the head too much, they are a little bit. Let's bring them back. GY. Let's do the mouth. Edit mode. Remember, we want the mouth to go up and across. Let's start with across first. Make sure this is on connected only so it doesn't affect anything else. G and X. Select the whole of this. And this too. Just because we don't want it to affect how the talking looks like. You know what? Let's do this. Let's select this with the face select. So we'll hit L. Now the inside will move too. Alrighty. So G and Z. Just comparing the two. Now, we're separating these things because we can reuse a lot of these, and if people want to make new emotes, they have a great basis to start from. So we've got these two. We can even make angry very easily. So we'll do here angry eyes. We'll do angry mouth. And these brows, probably going to reuse them. Probably don't even need to make a new version, but we'll see. Pupils, dull. This will take the shinies, shrink them and put them back in the head. So let's do that. Let's go to edit mode. Select these. Going to shrink them with S. Bring them about here. Let's turn on that. And bring them backwards. GY. They should be further enough behind the bone so when they rotate, they don't go inside the eye. Should be fine. Okay. To object mode. The eyes will be duller and smaller and all of that. Great. We have an angry face, but we also don't have this little mark here. So let's make those. Let's make the little marks. We need one for the anger, we need some tears, some new pupils, some blushes, anything else? No, let's do that. Let's start with the angry. Now, it can be pretty straightforward to do this. We don't need to worry about the face too much. We do need a new object. So let's do add mesh cube. We'll put it at 0, 0, 0. Make the size 0.3. We'll go to edit mode. AGZ, bring that up over the face. Go back to object mode. Let's add a subdiv modifier on it. And let's not add a mirror modifier. We might need a mirror modifier for one thing, but we'll figure that out later. We can also do object shade to smooth. We'll go to edit mode. Okay. So let's select some of these faces. X delete faces. We can shrink this, bring it forward, grab these back ones, SX, and bring this down, A, G, and Z. You can also just grab this face, duplicate it, Shift D, put it there, we need to grab this, duplicate it, Shift D. Let's put that there for now. Let's try to do a half decent shape for the blast. Let's turn on mirror. And let's turn on X-rays already on. Just want to bring this here, here. Have a middle line, bring that up, bring this up a little bit too. Control R on these. These should be symmetrized. It doesn't have to fit perfectly on the face. Of course, if you wanted it to, you would just have to copy the mesh below. We'll go to texture paint. We'll go to image, new, and we'll have it be 1000 by 1000. Let's uncheck alpha, see if that helps. Press OK, and that did nothing. Let's just press erase on this and do that. Image, save as, and we'll save this with our other textures. We're just going to call it TP-chan Emotes, and we want to apply that texture to these. So we'll do shading. We'll add new. And let me just check for just a second how we did that. Okay. So here we'll just call this T-chan Emotes. We're deleting this. We are grabbing the texture that we just made and we're throwing it in here. Just put it directly into here. You know what? Even better, we do want some transparency on this. And I'll tell you also why we make a separate texture for the emotes. It's very easy to have a shader that doesn't work very well with transparency and cutout at the same time. So by doing it this way, we get rid of the need to have a shader that works for both, and you can just use a different material without having to worry about things not working properly. We'll do blend, sure. We'll uncheck show back face and put that to clip. And I'm not sure why this is black. So odd. Oh, I see. Oh, I'm such a donut. Okay, there we go. Make sure to put the alpha into the FAQ. Okay. Let's do texture paint. Let's do UV editing first. Let's apply the subdivision first. So we'll just do apply here. Edit mode. Oh. UV editing. You project from view. So you have this. Grab that, scale that up. Since this is pretty much straight across, I'm going to do this SY0, Control P, Alt P. Let's untrack that. Let's select everything else. Scale this up. SX0 Alt P. Alt uncheck clear. This. Let's make this straight. SX0. Let's try again with hue and unwrap. Okay, see how this looks. Okay. Not terrible. Let's do UV average island scale. Put that there. Okay, check effect alpha if you're painting on something transparent. P, separate by selection, object mode. Add a mirror modifier. Apply. Control J. Let's add a data transfer. Let's transfer from the body. Vertex groups, vertex data, generate, and apply. Add a, let's do that. Click on the armature, Control P, armature deform. We can rename this to emotes, I guess. Let's see. This should just be connected to the head. See if it actually moves. Pose mode. Yep, it all doesn't move. Okay, let's go to object mode. Let's click on these edit mode, hit A and assign. Let's go to object mode. Pose mode. Pose mode. That's all fine now. We need another set of pupils, so let's go to body, edit mode. We want to select this and this. Shift D, right click once, P, separate by selection. We have this. Right, let's have a look at this. And let's just go over here and click this button here. Clear shape keys. Clear weights for all shape keys. Just press that. And it will go back to normal. But what we do want is this. Let's clear shape keys for this too. Small pupil is fine. This is not. Let's get rid of these. Make sure you're on the right one. Right. Let's go to edit mode. This is now on top of that. And then we can also shrink it like how it is for the angry. But by default I want this to be a bit in front. So we'll just go to basis, then G and Y. We only want to put it in front by the tiniest bit. Go to object mode. Go to body. We can hide the shinies with that. Should have the opacity on. And we'll have it in front. I just want to copy this swirl shape because it's nice. Oh, we haven't put it on the right layer. So we don't want this. We don't want this. What we do want is the emotes. Go to UV editing, hit A, grab this S to scale. So I'll actually join these to this. Control J. These should all be together now. Now let's name these. We'll do angry mark. We'll do sad tears. We'll do pupils, spiral, and blush. This might be a little bit confusing, but we're also going to do this. Small. Select all. By active element. What is this? Transform pivot point. I'm going to click active element. And you have to click this first and then hit A. So now it will shrink from the middle. So we're just going to make sure you're on small and scale that down. It's going to be a little weird again, but we're going to go one by one, making them larger. So this is small. And then we're gonna go one by one. So this, Control V, you need to be on blush, Control V, blend from shape, and we're going to go for small and -1. And I don't think add matters at this point. Right, so we're going to do pupil spiral as well. Click on these. Control V, blend from shape, and small -1. If we go to object mode and we have small on, they'll disappear. But once we slowly introduce them, they should be exactly where we put them before. So it's kind of working in reverse. Okay, but we don't want it to be like that. We want the small to be default. So what we do now, we take that off, go to edit mode, and we go to basis, hit A, Control V, blend from shape and small 1. So now this will go to small. So now if we go to object mode and everything is on 0, and then we, not that one, we introduce these, it will also be the same place that we had it before, which is great. So now we have all of these, we can just join them to the head. But it is going to look slightly different though, I think. Oh, we don't need the small anymore, that can get deleted. Let's go to the body, which would be the head. We'll put that back to 0. Just hit X on it. Emotes, then control click on the body, and then control J. And now it's all joined together. We can still do all of these. We can do this, we can make this. Oh, we should also be able to make the main pupil small. We should do pupils disappear. Pose mode. To see if anything is just popping out of the face. I mean, from basic movements, no. Cats, stop pose mode. What else do we need? We'll do sad brows and sad mouth. Right, let's do another one. Let's do 2 that just for fun. So do cheek puff and tongue out. Grab this hair. We'll apply the mirror and make sure clipping is on. And then we'll go to this. Let's turn off these shape keys. Do the hair and control click on the head if it works. Shift click on the, okay. The hair and then shift click on the head and control J. There shouldn't be anything here other than the armature. Now let's do this again. Go to edit mode. want to get this hair to move with the cheek too. So GX. Path. Let's do this one. Tongue out. Go edit mode. We are not going to open the mouth for this. We're going to try to make it work with the other shape keys. See how it looks with the O. See how it looks with the cha. Doesn't look right at all. It looks awful with the cha. And there's no point changing the cha now. The rest is fine, so we'll leave it be. It just won't work with certain mouth shapes, is all. Okay, now we can start making emotes. Save. I usually name mine EXPR. It's a new shape from Nyx, and I'll call that EXPR for expression. Let's do EXPR happy. We'll do that. We'll click that X there, and then you can just do happy from that. We'll do another one with the happy mouth and the happy blink. New shape from Nyx. EXPR happy O. Then press the X. We can test it here. That works. What else do we have? Before we start importing this into Vrchat, we need to set up the body in a better way. So we have this. We need to make sure the hair is on it. Let's go down, sort that out. This, we'll ignore this for a moment. And this, we'll ignore that for a moment. But everything else needs to be on properly. So let's go here. That can have the mirror applied. Control clicking on all of these, and then finally control clicking on the body, then Control J. They should all be together now. We have these two that we're going to leave separate and save. Start deleting these, except for a couple, so that can stay. Let's hide these, make sure it poses all right. Stop pose mode. Right. Now we are ready to start preparing to upload to Vrchat. Remember to save. This series is brought to you by my Patreons, with special thanks to my grey clouds and grey skies, Eeyore HeeHaw, Silent K, Sowwatt, and Spud the cat. See you in the next class. Farewell!